The U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission regulates the civilian, industrial, commercial, academic, and medical uses of nuclear materials in order to protect the public health and safety in the environment. The National Environmental Policy Act, or NEPA, establishes the national environmental policy for the protection, maintenance, and enhancement of the environment and provides a means for carrying out our goal. In the case of licensing new reactors, this means is through the development of an environmental impact statement. The Nuclear Regulatory Commission implements the National Environmental Policy Act in a manner that is consistent with our licensing and regulatory functions under the Atomic Energy Act of 1954. In addition to the National Environmental Policy Act, the NRC's environmental review includes compliance with other statutes such as the National Historic Preservation Act, the Endangered Species Act, and the Fish and Wildlife Coordination Act, as well as several other environmental laws and regulations. Lumen is seeking to, next slide. Lumen is seeking to combine two combined licenses for new reactors. These combined licenses will allow for the construction and operation of two new nuclear power plants with conditions, if issued, by the NRC. It's an NRC decision that authorizes an applicant to construct and operate a nuclear power plant at a specific site in accordance with federal law and regulations. Lumen submitted the combined license application on September 19 of 2008 for two Mitsubishi Heavy Industries U.S. Advanced Pressurized Water Reactors, Units 3 and 4, to be built at the Comanche Peak Nuclear Power Plant site. Next slide. There are three components to the NRC staff review. There's the design certification, the site-specific safety review, and the site-specific environmental review. The NRC regulations allow the COL applicants to refer to certified designs or designs that are docketed but not yet certified. The Mitsubishi Heavy Industries U.S. Advanced Pressurized Water Reactor has not been certified yet, but it is under review by the NRC staff. The design, if acceptable, would be certified by the rulemaking process. Lumen's combined license application refers to the U.S. Advanced Pressurized Water Reactor design for use at the Comanche Peak Nuclear Power Plant site. Additionally, the staff conducts a site-specific safety review of the design in relation to the proposed location at the Comanche Peak site, as well as an analysis of the environmental impacts of using that same design. Next slide. The COL application review process begins when an application has been docketed, and the safety review and the environmental review are both conducted in parallel. The safety review follows the black path in this slide at the top, and the environmental review follows the green path. The safety review focuses on the public health and safety in the relationship to the facilities, and the environmental review focuses on the plant's impact to the environment. The red path in the center of this slide is the hearing process. The hearing process factors in the results in the environmental review and the safety reviews. The final step of the COL review process is the Commission's decision on whether or not to grant the license. Next. The primary purpose of this meeting tonight is to discuss the environmental portion of the Comanche Peak Nuclear Power Plant Units 3 and 4 COL application, and to hear your comments. However, it is important to discuss a few areas covered by the safety review. Areas such as the design of the facility. Limited plans to use the U.S. Advanced Pressurized Water Reactor as their design at the site. And the site suitability. This describes how the site-specific factors affecting the plant, such as geologic, seismic, hydrologic, and hurricanes or tornadoes, affect the site suitability. The quality assurance. Quality assurance describes the applicant's process for ensuring conformance to standards. Adequate physical security. The NRC staff conducts this review in consultation with the Department of Homeland Security. Emergency preparedness. The NRC staff conducts the on-site review of emergency preparedness, and FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, conducts the off-site review. We also look at operator training. This ensures that the operators for the potential new units are properly trained to operate the units in a safe manner. The lead safety project manager for Comanche Peak Nuclear Power Plant for Units 3 and 4 is Stephen Monarch, and he is here with us today. The environmental review, which is the subject of today's meeting, is guided by the National Environmental Policy Act of 1969, also known as NEPA. NEPA requires federal agencies to use a systematic approach to consider environmental impacts associated with a major federal action that have the potential to significantly affect the human environment. It is a disclosure tool which involves input from the public and requires development of an environmental impact statement. The NRC has determined that the issuance of a combined license for a nuclear facility is a major federal action, and as such, the staff will develop an environmental impact statement before the Commission takes final action on any combined license application. As part of the NRC's environmental review, the NRC staff plan to evaluate the potential environmental impacts of construction and operation of 2 new U.S. APWR units at the Comanche Peak site. NRC's regulations for implementing NEPA are under Title 10 of the Code of Federal Regulations, Part 51. The NRC has established a systematic decision-making process to be applied during the environmental review of the combined license. The Environmental Standard Review Plan, New Reg 1555, as well as several other documents that we use, provide guidance to the NRC staff on how to review the application and how to document our findings in the environmental impact statement. Regulations and guidance documents can be found on the NRC's website at www.nrc.gov. During the environmental review, opportunities for public involvement are provided during the scoping period, which is why we are here today. The results of our review will be documented in a draft and final environmental impact statement for the Comanche Peak Nuclear Power Plants Units 3 and 4 project. And the public will have an opportunity to comment on the draft environmental impact statement as well. Throughout this entire review process, the NRC staff will maintain an open and transparent review of the process. Luminant submitted their COL application on September 19th of 2008. An environmental report was submitted as part of the application. The NRC staff reviews the application to ensure that it meets our technical sufficiency guidance. If an application does, it is docketed, and the NRC staff proceeds with both the environmental review and the safety review. The application for Comanche Peak Nuclear Power Plant Units 3 and 4 was docketed on December 2nd, 2008. The NRC then issues a notice of intent which informs the public of the NRC's intention to develop an environmental impact statement. The notice for intent for the Comanche Peak Nuclear Power Plant Units 3 and 4 COLs was issued in the Federal Register on December 19th of 2008. The notice of intent initiates a scoping process during which the NRC staff identifies the scope of the environmental review. And it also initiates a public comment period where the public can provide the NRC staff with comments. This public meeting is part of that process, and we will collect your comments here today as part of the meeting transcript. Additionally, written comments can be provided to the NRC through February 17th of 2009. The green ovals in this slide identify the periods in which the public is invited to participate in the environmental review process. The NRC staff gather information during the site audit and scoping phases of the process. The NRC staff visit the site and the site vicinity to begin its independent evaluation of the environment and provided by the applicant in the environmental report. The site audit will be scheduled during February of this year. Members of the NRC environmental team will visit Comanche Peak site and meet with Luminant representatives to conduct the independent evaluation. The NRC staff will do further information gathering after the site audit and ask additional questions of the applicant through a process called the Request for Additional Information, and investigate comments from the public and other federal, state, and local agencies.